Hello everyone, and welcome to one of my big favourite JRPGs. I just love this game. It is so beautiful. It has so much mystery. The reason why I'm playing it at the moment is that it is easy on my eyes, easier than most other games, especially modern games tend to be very, very strong with the bright, strobing, flashing light. So I decided to go back to Ys. Ys has never let me down, none of the Ys games. I'm just in love all over again. While I chip away slowly at the other videos, I thought I'd share with you what I'm playing right now. I'm recording most of what I'm doing in Ys VIII, and especially I try to capture the cutscenes that tell the story. If you'd like to follow along, I would be very happy indeed. If you don't know Ys or Ys VIII yet, then this is a great opportunity to get a real good impression and flavour of the game. And if you already know it or played it long ago, you might still enjoy going back into this world. So here at the moment you see the animation opening, which was produced by Studio 3HZ or 3 Hertz and was directed by Masayuki Sakoi. The CGI in this animation was produced by Studio Orange. Ys VIII Lacrimosa of Dana first came out in 2016. It's obviously a main numbered series entry. There was quite a wait after Ys number 7, waiting for number 8. Ys 7 came out back in 2009 for the PlayStation Portable, the PSP, so completely a handheld game. It was released by Xseed in North America and Europe in 2010, but didn't make it to Australia and New Zealand until 2013. So in between 7 and 8, Falcon produced a spin-off Ys game called Ys Memories of Celceta, and that one was made for the PlayStation Vita. It came to Western regions in 2013, 2014, and I remember it very well because I rushed off to get my Vita copy. Memories of Celceta is really, really big on the exploration factor. You have to chart a huge map in that game, and this tradition continues into Ys VIII. Ys VIII is, in my view, a game that suits people who are explorers by nature. If that's you, if you love filling in the blank spaces in a map and exploring every nook and cranny, then this game might well be for you. Once again, Ys VIII was released first for a handheld device, the PlayStation Vita, and I remember pre-ordering my limited edition copy of Ys VIII. I was so excited. I loved that game back then, and as you'll see, I still love it to this day. So it came out in 2016 in Japan for the Vita. It didn't reach the Western regions until the next year, 2017, when it released together with the PS4 version. Other platforms like PC and Switch were added later on. That's enough of me rabbiting on. Let's finally dive into the game and start with the prologue. Lots of difficulties to choose from. I always stick with normal unless there's a particular reason to change. It's easy to go up or down even while you're playing. We are not the tools of any higher power. Each of us is the very embodiment of free will. Even so, there comes a time in every man's life when he must answer a call to destiny beyond human understanding. How will you respond when that moment strikes you? Truly, nothing is more awe-inspiring than one who unceasingly pushes himself beyond the threshold of his courage and will. These are some weighty themes, and we will be following them closely as we go through the story. I had hoped to embody such an ideal myself. Even now, many decades later, my awe for her remains unwavering. And that is a quote from a book by Adol himself, Travelogue of the Gaeta Sea. And here we see a maritime navigation map with the title The Isle of Seiren. And our story begins on the high seas. When I first saw those graphics on the PS Vita 6-7 years ago, they blew me away. He's really enjoying the breeze there.
Yo, Adam! Taking a break too? Woo! What a nice breeze.
Good old doggy, Adol's best friend, a real strong man. His fists are like rock.
Wouldn't believe how suffocating it gets in the cargo hold. Gotta say, that uniform looks pretty good on you. Awfully nice of them to let us hitch a ride to Eresia in exchange for work. They got me moving cargo around and you helping out as a sailor on this voyage. And they're even paying and feeding us too. Pretty sweet deal if you ask me.
Apologies for the misbalance between the background music, which is a bit too loud, and the voices. I'll adjust that at the earliest opportunity.
Man, that Captain Barbaros. He looks intimidating, but he's a good man. Dependable, too. Thanks to him, we'll be able to hit the next stop on our journey once we dock. I'm a little sad we gotta say goodbye to Xandria. But there's no time to be moping when adventure's waiting for us. I'm looking forward to it, buddy!
So this was the pre-prologue, and now comes the actual prologue. You will be amazed. It's one heck of a night on the Gaeta Sea.
So, Adol, what is our next stop anyway? Once we dock in Sunyan, Greek is just around the bend. You're getting older. You still get a glint in your eye just thinking about adventure. If you ask me, I would have preferred heading west, along the coast of Africa.
Whoa, whoa! Are you guys voyaging to Altago?
Ah, Cathu! You bet we are. Adol has always been looking for a way to get to Altaga.
Unbelievable! You do know about the conflict between the Kingdom of Altago and the Roman Empire, don't you? Roman Navy vessels are pretty much the only ships that can enter that region of the sea. I heard that you're an adventurer. That just seems reckless.
Yeah, well, there's never a dull moment when I'm tagging along with this guy. Adol can't walk more than 3 steps without stepping in some kind of adventure.
You may think that this is just some bit of extra trivial information about the war in Altago, but in fact this is crucially important. There's no wasted information in this game, and it pays to pay attention.
Back on the clock already, huh? No problem. I'll head down right now. Catch you later, Adol.
What should I do? Asks Adol.
You've already learned the basics of keeping a lookout. Please go see Captain Barbaros. He told me to send you to his quarters once your job was finished. The captain's quarters can be found at the quarterdeck, near the stern of the ship.
Basic instructions follow. The game assumes nothing. Even a beginner in JRPGs can pick it up and play it. I'll be talking in more detail about the control scheme while I'm playing, but let me just say here that I have always found it incredibly easy to pick up and intuitive. I just love the ease controls. They've always worked really well for me. I have issues with many action RPG control schemes because my hands are obviously not that nimble anymore, but the East games are simply smooth sailing for me. This is something you will see me do an awful lot, and that is pull up the map to orientate myself. I have no sense of direction whatsoever, and I constantly need to check the map. Fortunately, main targets or objectives are marked with an exclamation mark. You may think this is all very obvious in a simple task like this, but the map and the objectives will get a lot more complex later on. That's my excuse for always pulling up the map. I think one reason why I feel so comfortable playing VIII is that the maps are so excellent, and if I ever do get lost, it is entirely my own fault. You may think that this is simply an NPC with some flavour dialogue, but in fact this lady turns out to be pretty important, so just a tip to remember her. So it's time now to head to the captain's quarters.
Yeah.
Well, we wish that were true. And here's the great captain himself.
Ah, Adol. Thank you for coming. Please, have a seat. As I recall, you introduced yourself to me as an adventurer. Tell me, do you know of the Isle of Seiren?
No, I've never heard of it, says Adol, and remember he's an experienced adventurer.
Sea is home to many islands, after all. She's a treacherous sea to navigate. More ships than I can count have run afoul of her jagged islands. But the Isle of Seiren has a particularly fearsome reputation, for you see, every ship that approaches the island sinks by some mysterious happenstance.
Where is this island located, asks Adol.
The ship is en route to the island's surrounding waters as we speak. That being said, I intend to keep us a safe distance from the island. About 5 years ago, a Roman vessel conducting an exploratory voyage approached the island. The sea was calm that day, and ran afoul of nothing, yet I heard it was pulled under all the same. Grecian mythology speaks of monsters called Sirens, which lure ships to their doom. The pirates who first discovered that island declared it cursed ground, and named it accordingly.
What's the island itself like? Asks Adol.
No one alive knows the answer to that question. The unlucky ones who have set foot on the island were never seen or heard from again. Even the saltiest sailors to voyage the gate to sea will tell you nothing about the island.
Here is a good example of whatever Adol says, the reply is pretty much preset.
It seems my tale did not but stoke the fires of your adventurous spirit. I share this tale with every new member of my crew. When I first told Cathy, he was so frightened that he refused to leave his quarters. But I see you're made of sterner stuff than he, lad. Now then, I'm sorry to keep you so long, but I've a favor to ask of you. I insist on holding a small welcome party whenever new passengers come aboard. I want you to attend the party and provide security.
Are you worried about something? Asks Adol.
I'm merely being cautious. As captain, it's my responsibility to ensure that every passenger aboard my ship is safe. Please, speak to Cathy for the details about your assignment. I know you won't let me down, Adol.
So, we're having a big party on board, and Adol needs to speak to many of the passengers. This may seem sort of redundant and a bit boring almost, but trust me, this is the first real important linchpin. Because the personalities of the people, many of whom you'll be dealing with in the future throughout the game, will be of real importance. This is not just an adventure story, it's a story about people and how they cope with disaster and how they cope with each other. Cathy explains to Adol what his duties will be and exactly what he needs to do. And Adol asks, is someone dangerous on board? All this patrolling may seem a bit exaggerated, almost like a story device to keep you busy, but in fact later events will show us the importance of this. So in other words, there's a bit of foreshadowing going on, and I think it's really cleverly done. Instructions on how to save, and the great thing about this game is you can save almost anywhere. This was originally a portable title for the Vita, so easy management of gaming sessions was paramount. Please remember this gruff-looking man. Yes, important character. At this stage we are only getting tantalizing little snippets of dialogue, of course, hinting at, well, all sorts of things. And you will definitely remember this noble-looking gentleman. What a snob. What a cheerful, pleasant conversation. Oh yes, you will remember this one. And you will remember this lady from up on the deck. So we've covered the main room. Time to check the rest of the ship. The map tells us again where we need to go. This is what I call the local map, and you access it via the touchpad. There is a second type of map, very different, and we'll get to that later. Here is our first passenger cabin, a truly mysterious character. Adol says, "You look suspicious."
Yes.
We got the brush off and no significant information. I'm not convinced Adol is really such a good detective.
Course, sit!
Those with a red main bubble marker are clearly exceptionally important characters, and this blue-haired man has stolen my heart. Okay, another passenger cabin to check out.
No.
She seemed emotionally troubled. So it's time to find the last important main event. I reckon Adol has jogged several kilometers up and down this passenger ship. I went down the wrong passage, and what would you know? There's this seemingly very unimportant, timid man, and I thought, did I need to talk to him? Well, please remember him. So here is what I think will be our final main event or dialogue scene, and it turns out to be Dogi. Seriously, Dogi, you're not expecting me to go round everybody again? But just when you think, what now, the game comes to your aid with a well-timed cutscene.
Huh?
What's happening?
I don't know, sir. We seem to have run afoul of something.
Impossible. We're in open waters. Assess the situation at once.
Aye, aye, sir.
We're quite a distance from the island. It couldn't be. What is that? Huh? What's going on?
It's obviously going to get exciting now, so I will say very little, only what is needed.
What is that thing?
At this rate, the ship will be destroyed!
Adol! Take this!
This is our first fight. It's also a tutorial, and it's a mini-boss. And that thing ain't a pushover. Concentrate, it's easy to get trapped. You can't jump high enough to get him up there. That would be too easy, of course. So, patience is required. But now I think I've stunned him.
An opening! Well, aren't you a skilled one?
Wow, so dashing.
That was amazing!
Nice work. I can always count on you, Adol. What was that thing anyway? Looked like a tentacle from some kind of giant squid.
What's happening?
What a nail-biter. What's happened to them all? I reckon they've all been swept overboard. Chapter 1. And I love this little crab, curious, coming back to investigate. Where am I? That is indeed the big question at the moment. Do you remember Captain Barbarous on the ship talking about the Isle of Seiren and how it had a huge 2,000 Melier mountain range right in the centre? Well, at least the exclamation points are still working on this forgotten island, and we're on the nameless coast. Thank you very much for joining me in ES8, and I look forward to seeing you in the next part. Will Adol find any survivors? Gotta love that rusty old sword.